spokesperson. He's a dear friend of ours. I consider him more like family. Give it up for Michael Chiklis, you guys.
No way! He's here. The oldest player to play in college. The oldest player. Yeah, that's Mike. The oldest player to play in college. The actor, yeah. But it's still nice though.
Coming out here today and seeing my movie, I'm really excited about this one because it's got a giant heart, and it's true. You know, some movies say this movie is based on a true story. This is a true story. As a matter of fact, Mike, as you can see, was on set with us every day. So, you know, we couldn't, fudge it. We had to, do his story, and it was a joy to make this movie. It really was. And if you told me I was, even months before I got this script, that I was going to ever play football, tackle football, I would have said you were crazy, out of your mind. But the whole thing about this movie is it's about second chances and righting, different things, wrongs in your life. And as you can see, it's not just a football movie, it's about a lot more than that. So I'm very proud of what the movie has to say. And at the same time, there's some good laughs in there, and it's an entertaining movie. So do you guys have any questions for me?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you've won Emmys and Golden Globes. What advice do you have for the rest of us that still have dreams like Mike that they want to follow?
Did you hear the question?
No.
You said you've won Emmys and Golden Globes and all of that. What advice would you give for us that still have dreams like that? Well, first of all, dreams come true. There's a Seneca, an old. Can we get the house lights?
Yeah, let me get them.
Here I am. I'm going to quote an old Roman philosopher, Seneca. He said, "Luck is where preparation meets opportunity." Okay, you make your own luck by working really hard. If there's something you want to do, anything worth doing is worth working really hard for. So I wanted to be an actor from when I was very young, and I had some really wonderful people around me, and they advised me really well, which was to say, listen, if you want to be an actor, then you go to school and you learn the craft and you learn how to be the best actor that you can be. And then you apply that. In other words, you go on stage and you work as much as you can. And the more you do it. Have you ever heard the theory of 10,000 hours? You spend 10,000 hours doing anything, you're going to get great at it. And 10,000 hours sounds like a lot of time. But in a lifetime, it really isn't. So it's just about hard work and never giving up. I'm 62 years old. I've been doing this a long time. And I made this movie when I was 59. When Mike he was 59 when he did what he did. So I was the right age. So really, it's about putting one foot in front of the other. I say this to my daughters all the time when they're overwhelmed about schoolwork. Like when they were back in school and they were like, oh, Dad, I got finals and I got this and I got that. I would say, stop. You're looking at the top of the mountain. And if you're trying to climb a mountain, don't look at the peak of the mountain where you're looking to go. Put your head down and put one foot in front of the other and start marching. And the next thing you know, you'll look up and you'll be like, oh, I got halfway up here. All right. And you put your head down again and you keep going. All right. Any other questions?
I just want to just quote a Bible verse. It says in Philippians 4:13, it says, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So through Jesus Christ, we could do all things. We could go, like you said, but in the way, in which, since Jesus is Lord, by us following him, he'll help us to do all things.
Well, you're quoting scripture, and Mike is a devout Christian, and this was part of his story. And we didn't want the movie to preach and proselytize at people, but we did include it to, so that people could see that this was part of his story and part of what motivated him and what helped him and what helped him to continue. And listen, faith is very important to a great many people in the world, you know. So Mike's, like I said, very devout, and this was something that was vitally important to his story, and he wanted us to include it in the story. Now there's a young girl behind you who had a question. What's that?
If you could play any character in the future, what kind of role you want?
Did you hear that?
Future interviewer.
Can you say it again?
Yeah. You know, maybe you'll be working for like Access Hollywood or something sometime, asking us questions like that. She asked me about if there was any kind of role I'd like to play in the future. One thing, you know, I'm kind of weird in that, you know, my career's been kind of backwards. I'm like, I don't know why this is, but when I was really young, I played older people. Like I played the commish when I was 27, which was a 40-something-year-old police commissioner. And then I played Vic Mackey in my late 30s from The Shield, which was this really tough guy. And then I played a superhero in my 40s. And now I'm playing a football player when I'm 59. It's just I'm going backwards in a great way. So I just like mixing it up. I like playing a lot of different parts because it keeps it interesting for me. And also, I think one of the greatest gifts there are about being an actor is I get to walk a mile in another person's shoes. And I've spent my life learning about people from all walks of life. It wasn't until last year, 2 years ago, that I was actually able to say, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV. I've always wanted to be able to say that. I finally, I played a brain surgeon, and it was great, because I spent several weeks with these two brain surgeons talking about their, of course that doesn't qualify me to be a brain surgeon, obviously. But what it does over the course of a lifetime is you learn a lot about the different walks of life and how people live their lives, and it makes you tremendously sympathetic and empathetic to the way people live from all over. And I've been very fortunate to be able to travel all over the world because of this profession too. And I highly recommend travel to people as you get older. Even if it's in the most humble way, even if you're just backpacking and you're just going to different places. Because again, you're going to meet people from different faiths, from different ideologies, and you're going to find that you have a lot more in common with them than you don't. And that's the thing, you know, so often it's easy to look at people from somewhere over there and think, oh, they're this or they're that or they're different. And then you meet people and you go like, oh, you're just like me in so many ways, you know? So it makes us less afraid of each other. Any other questions?
What's the hardest part about being an actor?
The hardest part? A lot of things pop into my mind. Probably when the thing is disappointing that you're in, like, you know, you want to be good and you want the thing that you're doing to be really good, right? That's always, no one goes into a movie going like, I want this to stink. Let's just make a stinky movie, right? It's the last thing you want. You want it to be great, right? But the thing is, every movie you make or television show you make, I always make sports analogies with movies and television and theater because it's a team sport. But instead of a 5-person basketball team with 2 alternate teams behind you, it's 130 people or it's 100